Hello everyone, welcome back to week 2 of 1 Week Games. This week I've added a new game idea here, which is the vertical platformer. Um, just an idea that I was kind of coming up with last week while building the memory game. And then of course we still have our other 3 games from last week to kind of still just have the mix a little bit more interesting. Um, Again, remember if you have any kind of game idea, please comment on any video this week or any of the Instagram posts, and I will add your suggestion to this input here so that we might be able to build the game you want to see next week, which could be really fun. Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and spin the wheel and see what we're making this week. And what do you know? It's the vertical platformer. Awesome. So my kind of idea for this was kind of something not as easy as doodle jump, but something where you are trying to climb your way out of like a hole or a tunnel or something like that. Um, so kind of where you're trying to climb up instead of climb down, something kind of like that. Um, yeah. So what we'll do is I'm going to start kind of writing a little bit of a design document and kind of just laying out how I want things to look. Um, so we'll be right back with that. Alright, so I took a few minutes to kind of create a simple design document and a simple little drawing to kind of show how my game is going to kind of look. So let's kind of walk through the design document first here. I've kind of laid it out a little bit better than last week's video. So kind of the first thing we want to always look at is mechanics. What the heck can our player do and stuff like that. So kind of I have this idea of climbing out of a big tunnel. Kind of the same idea as maybe like Jump King or a game like that where you're trying to just platform all the way up. Something the player for sure is going to be able to do is walk left and right. So we're going to give the player a little bit of mobility being able to do that. They definitely need to be able to jump and or get themselves up those platforms. So also kind of toying around with the idea of maybe introducing a hook shot kind of idea. Something like that could be kind of fun and unique for this kind of game. And then the last thing for the mechanics is I'm not sure if I want to give the player a weapon or not. So either like a sword or something to kind of just chop their way through the levels. The next part here is our features. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be having completely procedurally generated map or if we're going to just create a predetermined map. Definitely if there's time, I would do both. Some sort of idea for like my procedurally generated part would be I have different chunks and then I kind of just spawn the chunks on top of each other, and then after a certain amount maybe the biome changes, stuff like that, because that's the next feature that I want is definitely some different biomes just so the whole game doesn't look like one thing. Maybe there is all the way at the bottom it's like the darkest and it has like water and whatever blah blah blah, and then the next tier up is like grassy, and then the next tier up is like a drain pipe kind of thing. I'm not entirely sure how it's all going to look yet, but something like that. Different biomes will definitely make our game look and feel better. Then the next is maybe some puzzles and or collectibles, something to just kind of keep the player interested in continuing to keep climbing. If the game is going to be difficult in any way, definitely want to keep them still engaged in the game. And the last feature is checkpoints. So you don't want to fall and die or something like that, and then you lose all your progress you made. These games are supposed to be played all in one sitting, so I don't really want to punish the player in case they die, really close to the end, and then, well, yeah. The next is our progression. So I'm thinking about 3 to 5 different types of biomes to progress through. Something kind of like that might be good. Perhaps we unlock some sort of gadgets or something. Again, just to kind of keep our game a little bit bigger than just jumping and climbing. These kind of gadgets could be maybe like a bomb or a boomerang. So instead of starting with a weapon, maybe these are things that you find along the way. The next kind of step here is our enemies. So what kind of enemies I'm looking to have. We're going to probably have for sure some easy patrolling enemies, stuff that just goes back and forth on a platform, kind of like a Goomba from Mario. And then we'll probably have some flying enemies. Maybe these ones track the player a little bit smarter. And then maybe we also have like some big enemies that will require you to actually use maybe these gadgets that we unlock, something like that. Just to kind of have the game full circle. Something kind of like that. And then of course our win condition is just getting to the top. So just trying to climb and get your way all the way to the top. That's going to be our win condition. And then our lose condition is just whenever you die, whenever you take too much damage. He'll probably have some sort of live system. So maybe you start with like 3 lives. When you die, you lose a life and you start your checkpoint. But if you lose all your lives, then I think we will start you all the way back at the bottom. So it's going to be kind of our quick, easy design document. This, of course, can definitely change. So in our Wednesday video, I'll probably talk about again, what changed from this first iteration of our design document to our next one. And then before we start jumping into the game and showing you a little bit of a prototype, I'm going to just show you how I kind of want to design this game. So the player's going to be starting near the bottom. It's going to be a very narrow playing view, and enemies will just kind of be randomly along whatever I decide to put them. And yeah, the player's just going to have to jump and climb their way up. Something that I think could be kind of fun is if they're using the hook shot, maybe the hook shot can go back and forth, and whenever you then press like the space button or something, then it'll fire that hook shot up. It'll drag your player up there, and then you can drop down that way. It might be kind of a fun thing to do, but we'll see if that joins the game idea here. Anyways, I'm going to cut now, and I'll bring you back when I've got a little bit of work done on the initial prototyping for the game. Alright, and welcome back. This is the little kind of prototype I've been working on from this morning. So pretty much the whole idea of it is there's going to be kind of like these big walls going all the way up. Maybe we'll have tunnels go to the side. I'm not 100% sure on that yet. That's going to be something that will kind of be discussed in Wednesday's video. But for right now, so far it's going to just kind of go straight up, and you'll be able to kind of tether yourself to this. So I think I'm going to actually go with the hook shot instead of jumping. So I'll kind of show you what that looks like right here. So when I hit play, this is our little character doing their little animation. It kind of go both ways here. The camera will kind of stop at the walls, and you can kind of hook shot your way up these platforms. Trying to kind of get across like this kind of thing. So that's going to be kind of like the main idea for this game, is just to have the player try and go all the way up the level here. I'd like to kind of show you a little bit on how I got the hook shot to work, just in case you're trying to create something similar as well. So I'll kind of bring that into frame now. So I kind of have it done all on the player here. Pretty much the main things that you're kind of going to need is a distance joint 2D, a line renderer, and then maybe where the hook should start from and where it should kind of go to. So first things first is I actually have on my ground something like this. So all of the tiles in my ground, they kind of just know if my mouse is clicked on them, then we're going to be setting that mouse position pretty much to its position or wherever the mouse position was when you clicked on it. So now that we know where our mouse position is going to be, then in my hook shot over here, we'll just skip the movement. Pretty much when you press the mouse button down and our mouse isn't or our mouse position isn't just 0, we haven't like nulled it out, then I'm going to turn this grappling to be true, just so we can't spam the grapple. And then we set our line positions, the first position to our endpoint and our second position to our player. I'm pretty sure you could reverse those two if you really wanted. And then we do want to anchor our distance joint to our mouse position, wherever that is. And we want to just enable both of these so that we can see them on our screen. And for a little bit of an added effect, I took gravity off my character. And then of course here, when you just release the button, then hide the line renderer and the joint component, set our gravity back. You can turn the grappling off, and we also want to just reset our mouse position. And then the last thing here is if it is all enabled, so we've clicked on something and our character is able to put their hook shot into it, then we want to just reconfirm that that position is going to always be our character's position, so that when we do move along the line, it's updating. And then the next part is we just want to lerp our character to that position. And I have just an arbitrary value here. 5 seems pretty good for me for the speed that I want. And so yeah, that's pretty much the whole kind of code to get the hook shot work. I'll probably be adding a lot more to this today. There's probably going to be a few different biomes as well. Maybe I'll start creating some enemies, stuff like that. But yeah, super excited to start this one. Hopefully it looks good by the end of it, and make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.